Welcome. I'm Captain Greg Sundgaard, and I'd like to welcome you to Port Angeles, Washington, and the first ever North Pacific Coast Guard Forum multilateral, multi-mission exercise to be hosted in the United States. This year's exercise is called Pacific Unity and is hosted by the United States Coast Guard. Ships and observation teams from each of the forum partner nations, Canada, China, Japan, Korea, Russia, and the United States, are gathered here this week for a series of drills to test and enhance the interoperability and communications protocols of our forum. I'm lucky to have been part of the forum for the last 3 years as the head of the Combined Operations Working Group. The cooperation fostered by the forum sort of reminds me of my neighborhood. My neighborhood's the kind of place where if a kid falls down in the street, 3 dads run out to check on him. The nations of the forum are just like the dads in my neighborhood. Our countries each recognize that the Pacific is a pretty big backyard that none of us can keep watch on alone. We need each other to help combat the types of common threats that we face on the high seas. Over the next few days, we're going to be witness to a series of remarkable firsts. The first time the U.S. Coast Guard has ever hosted a full-scale North Pacific Coast Guard Forum multilateral, multi-mission exercise in U.S. waters. The first ever visit of a vessel from the Russian border guard to the lower 48 states. The first ever transfer of coastal aids to navigation by hovercraft. It also marks the first time Canadian and U.S. Coast Guard buoy tenders will set each other's coastal buoys on the West Coast. Pacific Unity is robust. We'll be conducting drills in areas of common interest for foreign partners: search and rescue, aids to navigation, and port state control. Rather than being a highly scripted affair, our ships, crews, and aircraft will be adapting on the fly as the scenarios are dynamic. They will change based on information which will be provided via the International Operations Center that will be managing the underway portion of Pacific Unity. Pacific Unity is just revving up. We'll be underway and making way for the next 3 days. For updates, check out the Public Affairs website at www.d13publicaffairs.com.